Well, let's see if they ban Athena this game then, and if Shaggyshenk gets that Freya one more time, or if the boys of Bipolar Method want to switch things up this time around. Well, they're going to take first pick. That's the first statement they're going to make this game.
And that's going to give them the opportunity to maybe first pick Terra for themselves and then look for that pressure in the dual lane. If they don't have to worry about too much control, then they have the sustain that they need to. They have the roots and the stunts.
Didn't really look like Bipolar Method was the same old selves, though, and I don't want to discredit Cringe Crew at all, because I think they really put Bipolar Method in their back pocket there. But at the same time, they didn't look the same synergy that we've seen out of them before. They looked a little bit
I'm also surprised that they didn't invade a level 1, like we were talking about. Amaterasu, Athena level 1. You could invade that, especially, what was it? It was the Bologna and the Susano.
Yeah, Bologna, Susano versus Amaterasu and you know, the Athena. Yeah. Even if they've got Raf, you're still thinking about invading.
Yeah. Absolutely, you could. Like, you can even feign pressure. If you get Amaterasu in laning phase without the blue buff, then Bologna wins.
That's true. Well, Athena will get banned by Bipolar Method and Terra as well. They feel that was Cringe Crew's biggest objective, was those two Guardians.
Well, I'm surprised that they didn't leave Terra open for themselves to pick up, which means that they have a lot of flexibility in their picks and bans.
I was going to say, this gives more options to QvoFred in the jungle here, totally, as well, because he can go out Kuang now, he can pick up his Susano again. He's got a lot of very flexible options here in the jungle option.
I like that Cringe Crew bans out Fafnir, because now you're kind of baiting Trixtank into this Bacchus pick, more than likely, because that's the top 3 supports that we've been seeing more than likely, and it's going to be the Ao Kuang for QvoFred instead.
Now, Repikas does have a circuit to his name. I know he can play it to a decent standard, so whether he does pull that out against the Ao Kuang, which has been the overall counter pick here, but instead they're going to first of all take Chronos for Shaggyshenk, which I think is very wise.
The best thing to add on top of the Chronos would be a Neith, the time stop into the root. You have some global pressure to alleviate Chronos away safely in the duel lane.
Completely agree, especially because you don't want to give them Ao Kuang Neith, which is a very standard composition we've seen before. Great call, Tolly. You had the money.
It's like I used to play this game.
Man, I wish I played it. Feels bad.
Just waiting on the next picks from Bipolar Method. You want to find something to really do a lot of damage to get somebody in execute threshold for Ao Kuang. In mid lane, it was the Neith for the World Weaver. So if you want to play aggressive in the early game, you would probably want the Raijin maybe, or the Isis.
Now that's a flex pick with that Guan new. However, with the Freya getting locked in with it as well, I do want to say it's going to Trixtank here. We have seen Xaliea play it in the solo lane before in the past, although it feels like a very Trixtank god right about now.
So interestingly enough, going for this late game style Bipolar Method, going for Freya and Guan Yu. Now you can group up the wave and, you know, pulse it down
pretty well.
But the problem is you're going to be against a Chronos more than likely in the dual lane, so he'll time stop you, prevent you from grouping it up in the first place.
Very true. Susano has been locked in, so they don't go for the circuit option here. They're going to go for that and look for some nice little crowd control effects with these global ultimates. But Bacchus banned out Bipolar Method here, and it's going to be Isis as well from Cringe Crew.
So now with a Bacchus ban, there's not that many Guardian options or top tier Guardian options for Cringe Crew. It's more than likely going to be Trixtank on the Guan Yu just to start rotating in these team fights in the 3v3. You really want to start healing your jungler and your mid laner when you're fighting this early.
What are we expecting to see from the support then? I mean, Sylvanas, Ymir, I'm just going through the list in my head here that could really come up.
I mean, there's Sobek that's still always available.
True.
Sobek would be a great initiator for this.
Look at you.
It's like I used to play this game.
It's like you really used to play this game. Sobek locked in. I'll have to go solo now. That'd be funny.
Well, then that means they're going to get a lot of crowd control if it's going to be Sobek solo lane. Another Guardian that they could do is Kumbhakarna would be a nice setup, God.
Good call. Well, it's going to be Zeus in the mid lane for Bipolar Method, and finally they're going to round that off with Vamana in the solo lane, so there's definitely a Guan Yu support coming out for Trixtank this game. Cringe Crew need to round out their comp with either a solo laner or another support. We'll find out what it'll be. Could be another Guardian. I potentially see Amaterasu again.
I'm expecting a Warrior, honestly. I don't really expect a double Guardian here out of Cringe Crew. You need to have more frontline and Bruiser tanky, a nice little sustained frontline or two, because obviously you want to have displacement between Sobek and Tyr, and that's going to allow a lot of follow-up for this Chronos and Neith.
Yeah, good options there for Cringe Crew and Bipolar Method. Like you said, though, very late game composition from Bipolar Method here. Cringe Crew got a bit of a better early game just because of that Neith Susano, I want to say. However, you know, as the game goes on, definitely Bipolar Method's favor. Yeah,
Bipolar Method has to be super careful with their positioning. Zeus has no escape, so if he gets pulled in by Susano in the early game, he's going to get destroyed. He's going to get rooted and nowhere to go.
Now, we've seen Xaliea do this before, and we've seen him do this built boots option over and over again. However, invade going on right now. 2 options going on, and it's Trixtank in a world of hurt. Forced to take his dash already, but the pulse damage coming through, and QvoFred gets first blood. Then they're going to look for a second one. Xaliea swings on the back and gets another. Mistakes have been made by Cringe Crew. They invade the jungle, and they did not recognize the flank from QvoFred.
The late game form is here, boys. Bipolar Method getting 2 kills right off the bat. They're going to accelerate their start so heavily already. And I'm not sure who got the first blood already, looking at the gold.
Kuvo got it first, and then I believe it was Xaliea after that.
Yeah, it looks like Kuvo has a little bit more gold. So, and that's an Kuang that got first blood, and Xaliea investing into the reinforced greaves. He's going to be able to get more potions. Oh, look at this, picking up the boots 1.
I love that. We saw this a little bit earlier on today as well, which is not something you see too often, but if it happens so early, go back to base, spend that gold, and get the investment online quicker. But look at the gold difference. 1885 is what he's worth right now, QvoFred. Everybody else on the side of Cringe Crew, 1,500 gold. He got a lot of bonus gold in that.
Really smart pickup for QvoFred. He's going to be able to rotate between these jungle camps very efficiently. He's going to hit level 5 first to look for a play onto one of the side lanes.
Well, that's something we don't really talk about these days as well with First Blood, is that they do give experience as well. And that experience does accelerate you a little bit more. It's not as much as, we'd normally talk about, but at this stage of the game, very much so.
And in the solo lane, it's going to be a gank
attack,
but
again.
They failed. They didn't get there in time, and Repikas has no potential escape. QvoFred has boots 1 and the speed buff. He's going to do a great job body blocking. Nice slow from Xaliea, finding a 3rd kill for Bipolar Method. This game is is rough for Cringe Crew already.
This is a bad situation to be in. They were both level 1. They got the blue buff as Zyrhoes first of all, but then they thought they'll try and invade and sneakily catch that blue buff as well.
So I like the idea. We didn't talk about the Wrath pickup for Repikas. They used the Wrath immediately on the blue buff for Zyrhoes, and then look for trying to stop both the Kuang and the Vamana, because Vamana has no damage for this blue buff.
I mean, at the same time though, like, Repikas took his jet stream. Oh, double banish coming out from Funballer now. Shaggyshenk's body blocked as well. Great pluck from EmilZy to slow him down, but Funballer, he needs a couple more pulses. Not going to find it though, but they're up against it. Oh, one more hit. EmilZy going to get the meditate off in time. This game is crazy.
Oh, so much action in solo and the duel lane. It's not even 2 minutes into the game. Xalia's level 4, 1 kill, 2 assists. QvoFred, 2 kills already to his name. He's going to be snowballing pretty hard. Looking at his golden hair, he could already finish off the shoes of the Magi.
That's madness. Especially, I wanted to say this as well, Xaliea did start reinforced boots at the start of the game. He did it previously before they were even buffed, and now he's like, I'm going to play Vamana and go back to it one more time here. And also, that invade, Toli, when they went for that second one, Repikas had jet stream and used it to gap close.
That's very suspicious, because he uses Wrath on blue buff. Now, it's one thing if you clear the blue buff without Wrath, and then you're rotating just to be able to steal it with the Wrath. So,
and I think he took Jetstream because of that prior engagement, right?
Yes.
To close the gap there. But then to try and invade with Jetstream and no Wrath and no ability, basically, to close the gap with it, that's a really silly situation.
Well, they started off the game very normal the last time, right? They went Athena jungle, they did their own buffs, they didn't go for anything too fancy. Switching things up, is not a bad idea, but you got to make it work. And in this time, once you die twice immediately afterwards, it didn't make sense to go for the invade at that point.
Kuvo's basically turned into a shark right now, and he's on the hunt already, looking for potential blood prey. And the target he's looking for right now is going to be Shaggyshenk, and he gets 1. However, there was an offer pickup onto Trixtank there with the World Weaver coming through from Kero, but the trade in mid lane is going to be very even. Nobody's going to fall down there, but a pick once again for QvoFred.
Trading Guardian for your Hunter is going to allow Funballer in a really great spot. We saw how efficient Shaggyshenk was with the Freya getting into that lane, but now this time it's going to be the Funballer being in the same position.
So you played Freya, I'll play Freya as well is basically the call. I can do it just as well. And they're putting the beat down now onto Cringe Crew. They put themselves in this situation at the start of the game. Funballer, though, being aggressed on by EmilZy, he's okay, though. He's not going to be able to be picked off alone here.
He still has the ultimate, a great CC immune during that, but now he doesn't have much abilities. Funballer still having his ultimate. He's going to be able to find another kill, but Repikas is right around the corner.
But can they look for Funballer here and get him? They knock him up, but a great little play coming out from Trixtank there to delay them for a second. And the sustain too, and Funballer's looking for a second kill. He's going to pick that one up as well. All credit to Trixtank.
Shaggyshenk missed everything. He missed a time stop. He missed a time rift. Great job by Zero securing his own blue. QvoFred was able to pick up up his own
But he just
speed.
used Lawbringer, and they know it. He's got no mana either, so they're going to dive the tower on this right-hand side. This is a shambles right now. Bipolar Method are just finding kills everywhere. Zyrhoes forced away. He's still got no mana. Looking for the extra damage is Kuvo. He's got no ultimate, but he can continue to poke if he wants, but he will force him back.
Not having his execute, unfortunately, for that kill. It's going to still allow Xaliea to outfarm him. QvoFred forced in the purification. No ultimate from EmilZy to really chase this down. And I love the plays so far coming out of Bipolar Method.
Well, Weaver does go through. Xaliea has no ultimate here, and Kuvo goes there to slow them down a little bit and make sure there's no rotation. They're still thinking about this Cringe Crew. I think they're actually trying to force things a little bit too much, trying to get themselves back in the game. By doing that, though, they do give themselves exposed quite often.
Trixtank is feeling very confident going for that red buff invade by himself. Kero able to secure that for his own side. And now, just look at the goal difference and the experience gap.
So just look at the kills in less than 5 minutes. Like, there's 7 kills in this game already. Action across the map. The levels, as you can see, is 2,600 experience. That's over 1,000 experience every 2 minutes. Crazy. Crazy.
There's probably going to be more action, knowing Bipolar Method with... We haven't even seen a 3v3 group up yet between jungle, support, and mid right now. And looking at the composition from Bipolar, they have so much area of effect damage with Lawbster, you can easily find somebody executable range for QvoFred.
And you mentioned that Lawbster's just been able to free farm in mid lane up against Neith as well, who've just continued to farm up both of them as well. Obviously, Kero got credit with that World Weaver across the map that really helps out the side of Cringe Crew here. They need one stable factor at least right now, and they've got one in that mid lane of Kero.
That's the one advantage that they have in the little side lane hunter matchup between Funballer and Shaggyshenk. That World Weaver is going to pay dividends to allow Shaggyshenk to try to get back into this game. We see the Doom Orb on the side of Shaggyshenk, which helps out his abilities, but not worrying about the damage of abilities. Funballer, he wants to go for the attack speed and movement speed.
Yeah, and you can actually see Shaggyshenk has taken the Sanctuary this game as well, I guess to avoid a little bit more of the burst damage, not necessarily the execute that could come through here from the Kuang.
It makes sense because Guan Yu with the cavalry charge does a lot of damage if you confirm every single hit, as well as the Freya's Valkyrie's discretion, so buys a lot of time for Shaggyshenk.
Well, 6-1, 5 minutes in, and the lead is about 2,000 gold, as we said, as everyone's just started to farm up and slow it down for a second or two here. We're starting to see the first couple of group ups of the mid, the jungle, and the support once more into the mid lane stages, and I think Bipolar Method are just happy to just sit here for the time. I'm like, okay.
Cringe Crew are going to start gold tier here. They have Wrath. Or they're thinking, they were considering it. I think they were just going for a counter ward.
Well, Trixtank going to make sure they pay for that. Going to go aggressive on Kero. Can't backflip out of this one. Now he backflips, but Kuvo's waiting in the wings for him as well. Left alone. Now Kuvo looking to burst him down, but a great pull from Repi. Keeps his mid laner alive, and now Kuvo's turned on 2. But he gets in range and gets the execute off. Lawbster, Pappy Lawbster coming through there with the big old chain lightning.
Lawbster and the boys getting 7 kills to their name now, and it's going to be a disengage, but Trixtank zoning away Zyrhoes. These buffs are not up for the side of Cringe Crew, but speed buff going to get started more than likely for QvoFred.
I actually think the meditate was used there by Trixtank as well, which actually allowed Kuvo to sustain a little bit more and actually get that ultimate off, which does give him some sustain. So it was Cringe Crew looking at the goal for a second cheekily, and then the next minute is like, they just want to go. That's all Bipolar Method wanted. They just went straight in, looked for Neith.
The fact that she has no purification allows for an easy time to get the execute off. It bought a lot of time, though. It negated a lot of damage on the side of QvoFred, but it was a great rotation from Lawbster and Trixtank to still be able to dive Kero, even though the backflip was used.
And this is the experience of Bipolar Method showing through. Now, they've been around here before, you know, when they were in a lead, they know how to establish one and push it further. That's one of the greatest credits of this team. And generally, once they have a lead, it's very difficult to strip it away from them, too.
And something we didn't talk about was the natural movement speed out of Vamana. It's the highest in the game right now at 380. So the fact that Xalia's picking up these boots this early on, right off the bat, means that he's going to out-rotate Zyrhoes in the future.
Well, we actually saw that at the beginning of the game, that first blood that came down. He swung around the back for the second kill as well, just because his mobility can get him around there very, very quickly.
Being able to find those 2 kills was so crucial for this lead established by Bipolar Method, but not wanting to go for goal here themselves with this lead because you still have to worry about the Wrath from Repikas.
Well, if I hear anybody complain about Europe being slow in terms of games anymore, I will refer you back to this one for the next couple of months as well, just to remind you all, there's a lot quicker than most of the North American games I've cast in the past couple of weeks.
Nice little move from Funballer. Not going to be able to juke out that time stop, though.
Yeah, it was a good little stun from Shaggyshenk there. It's going to not really pressure him too much under the tower, but it does stop him probably getting one stack of Doom up. However, his boys have committed to the Gold Fury.
They know that the rotation from Repikas is coming though, so they have to back off, as well as the teleport from Zyrhoes. And look at this. Look where Xaliea is. Now he's teleporting in the back line.
And Trix is going to initiate. They're looking towards Kero first. No, it's going to be the Sobek. Zero's zoning Cuvo away for now, but Kero didn't recognize what was going on. He's already had Lawbster gets a double kill. And now Zero's running for his life with the Lawbringer being chased down as well. Gets cleaned up by QvoFred. 10-1. 3 kills for nothing.
Where did the health go of Cringe Crew? They just got absolutely deleted by Lawbster. The player damage is too real right now. All he has is Shoes of the Mad Guy. He had the Soulstone, which did a lot of damage there. And Repikas, he doesn't even want to come close to this, despite his Wrath being available.
Well, game 1 was definitely Cringe Crew playing fantastic, but this game, Bipolar Method, I mean, it kind of got handed to him with this invade from Cringe Crew that didn't work out for them. Bipolar Method had an idea this was going to go on, and from that moment on, it felt like they were trying to force their way back into the game and ended up paying more and more.
They just fed the dragon, and that's not something you really want to do, especially on QvoFred. He knows how to play with the lead. He will just run wild all over you.
And when you look through actually where the kills have come from too as well, Tully, look at the kill participation from the members of Bipolar Method in this game. They've been absolutely, like most of them have been involved in like 6 or 7 minimum.
9 on the side of Funballer, 8 for QvoFred, 8 for Trixtank. They've just been together for so long, and this is what you really want to do with the lead. Just keep being grouped up, keep forcing the issue. We saw how Bipolar Method forced the issue onto Kero earlier on, and as well, immediately after that, surely, they found those 3 kills just because they always want to be grouped up here.
Well, at the moment, they were looking to try and steal away the speed buff, but it's not available now. So the corner camping at the moment here at Bipolar Method, it's not something you get to say in terms of time, but corner camping is a real tactic and trying to catch people on a rotation round, but it's spotted out by Cringe Crew for now as everybody goes back to farm. Trixtank is going to fight over that ward, though. Going to get pulled into Kero, roots him in place as well. Cavalry charge used, but it's a big bait coming out once more. And already Repikas is off the map. Kero forced out as well, but he will take out Trix.
World Weaver finding the kill. Nice little Lawbringer forcing the purification coming out of QvoFred, but Lawbster, he have to respect the damage.
Round the back, looking at Kero. Great stuff from Kero, keeps him standing. But Xaliea doesn't mind. He's going to turn his attention to the Crocodile. Funballer ended up swinging around from Jew and picking up Kero anyway. Xaliea, one more hit, cancels his ult early to make sure he can get the kill.
Great sprint also to get him away from that Fearless from Zyrhoes. And Funballer going to steal the red mid lane. Lawbster, he's level 13 with red buff, and that's why they were able to do so much damage.
Oh, that banish could cause issues for Zyrhoes. Now the pulse is good. The ult is even better. QvoFred credited with another kill. 5, 0, and 5 for the jungle of Bipolar Method.
And they're able to get the right side mid Harpies. They saw where Shaggyshenk was on the left-hand side. They're still putting a little bit of pressure in middle with Golfier respawning in about 3 minutes. There's nothing really for them to do here. There's not too much tower damage on the side of Bipolar. They have Zeus and Freya.
So here's the deal, Tully, right? Here's the question for you. If you could have Kuang in less than 12 minutes have 3 items online, which 3 items would they be?
They would be Dynasty Plate Helmet, Shoes of the Mad Guy, and Polynomicon.
But what are the odds of you getting all those items online before the 12-minute mark, Tully?
It happened this game, so pretty likely, I guess, for QvoFred. Great job by him being able to snowball this lead. And now he's really looking for these executes quickly. Looking at the side of Zyrhoes, he doesn't have any magical defense, like too much. He does have it off of the reinforced greaves, which will help him a little bit, but he has no health, right? So the damage from Cuvo at this point is just going to melt this warrior.
I mean, credit where it's due to what Bipolar Method have done with this. Yeah, it was Cringe Crew that invaded and got punished for it, but they, like I said, they know how to really push on a lead in a game. And as the #1 seed in Europe, let's just clear that up as well. Like, they're really showing they deserve to be on this with this performance so far this game.
Only losing to Energy before losing to Cringe Crew the last game. So now Bipolar Method was just thinking to themselves, like, we just lost to Cringe Crew? We never lost to anybody but Energy. So now we have to clean it up, apparently. And with this composition and with their grouping up, they definitely have a good job so far.
And Zeus going to look for pokers. Look at what Bipolar Method are doing in the jungle on the right side. They're stopping the reinforcements of Cringe Crew coming through, saying, Zyrhoes, you're going to be on your own. You're going to have to deal with it as 2 members are over there. Still, QvoFred actually looking to poke him out a little bit more. Zyrhoes forced a Lawbringer down the right side. We didn't catch it on the screen, but it was Lawbringer to get his blue buff and get away again.
So now it's going to be another group up from Bipolar Bipolar Method. They're going to squeeze this in with QvoFred from behind. Trixtank going to lead the charge, and look at this. They recognize that EmilZy backed off, but taking so much damage. He's going to find the execute.
And he's going to find it. No, he's not going to get the execute time. The meditate, the perfect time. Qvo's overextended. Great play from Cringe Crew. Fantastic meditation from EmilZy. But respect Lawbster, because he's got a lot of burst too. Zones out Cringe Crew one more time, allowing this tier 1 tower in the mid to fall.
And it was a good sacrifice. Xaliea is going to be able to use his ultimate just in time. EmilZy dashing away under his own tower. Zero still going to get hit with that chain lightning.
Oh, Funballer swinging around the back, and there's this cavalry charge from Trixtank going in as well. The call should have been made from Shaggyshenk as Zyrhoes. Now on his own, no Lawbringer available. Looking for the first, going to get Trixtank. No, he will go down and trade, and Xalia's going for the back. He wants EmilZy, and he'll find EmilZy as well. Meanwhile, Lawbster going to make sure that Repikas can't swing around the right-hand side, and now poor old Shaggyshenk tried to reinforce. Well, he's going to go for a rewind time soon if he gets the opportunity. Not today, son. Lawbster denies him again.
Great job. 4 for 2 in favor of Bipolar Method. They also found the tier 1 mid tower, extending their goal lead to 7,500. Look at that experience gap, too.
I will say, I feel like I've seen the best and worst of Cringe Crew this season in this one set. Like, game 1 was absolutely amazing from them. Very well executed. Game 2 just didn't go their way.
It was just a double failed invade, unfortunately, on the side of Cringe Crew. Bipolar Method, it seemed that they were definitely prepared for it and exploited Cringe Crew's positioning. And now, with this goal here at the 14-minute mark, I wouldn't be surprised if Cringe Crew just croaks here.
I mean, it's going to be a rough situation for him. Now, with the goal fever going down again, that gold and experience lead is through the roof for 14 minutes in this game. Experience, I don't even care about the goal, just look at the experience difference. You got a 4-level difference on your mid laners right now. Your junglers are actually pretty even. Credit to Repikas for getting himself back in on that one. The kills, however, between those two, different story.
And that's a Zeus that has that 3-level lead. That's a Freya that has that 4-level lead.
Jeez.
Bipolar Method, they're going to start grouping up in these team fights with a sustain from Guan. They have the offensive and defensive tools that they really need to close this one out.
Does cause a few issues for Bipolar Method this time, though, because all the towers are down. You know, the tier 1s, kind of hard to try and siege up and force him into a pinch scenario here, especially with the Gold Fury being down as well.
Well, when you have Zeus available for so much damage with your chain lightning off of your shield, you have the ultimate to zone as well for the tier 2. You don't have much tower damage between Freya and Zeus, but you have all the player damage to find the kills that you need. You have the Freya, the Kuang, and the Zeus.
And the long-range setup as well. I mean, chain lightning with the shield able to just bounce it further. Freya with the banishes can really set up your team to initiate as well, at least for some purification too.
We saw that earlier on from Funballer, able to get so many people out of position, but now it's Zyrhoes. A nice little double fearless, should be able to escape.
Not with Xaliea coming around the corner though as well, and now he's going to be forced away with the power cleave, but the double tap hits from the Umbrella Ring and will force the Lawbringer out from them again, so free ultimate the way of Bipolar Method one more time.
Great discipline as well, not committing to that tower chase. Trixtank could have potentially used Cavalry Charge just to set up the stun. You could have had QvoFred follow up to get the guaranteed execute under the tower, but playing it safe.
Meanwhile, mid lane, Lawbster under pressure versus the world right now. The Wrath coming through to help out. Repikas a little bit, but Lawbster's going to get at least one kill before going down in trade. Shaggy forced to rewind as well, a little bit worried about the rotations from Bipolar Method, and as I say that, Kero has met one of them.
It's going to get whooped up in the Air Force into the Sanctuary. Going to get knocked up by Xaliea, could not backflip away.
Well, a lot of pressure on the mid lane once more time now, with that actually going down as well. 20-5, they can siege up and look for the tier 2 as well.
It's going to be another commitment. Trixtank is going to be able to go in the backline, zoning so many members with Xaliea. Now EmilZy forced into the ulti. They found Shaggyshenk. They're going to continue on those Zyrhoes. He doesn't have the Lawbringer, but he just found the heal.
Just in time with the power cleave, but it's not going to be enough. Qvo still gets the kill at the end of that one as well. Now going for the tier 2 tower, which is free. Qvo still looking for more. A little bit greedy from the young lad, but he can do it. He'll live with one hit and go back to his buddy Trixtank.
Finding the conviction, finding the meditation. They're going to be able to continue the pressure onto this Phoenix right now. It's only Repikas and EmilZy to defend.
Well, they've got a couple of respawns going through, but a nice little banish. They've not got the damage for this one, Toli, to really bring it down. With a Freya of all things, you got to back away.
That's what we were talking about earlier on. They have the player killing objectives that they need, but not enough penetration to get these towers quite yet.
This is brutal, because I don't think Cringe Crew, they're not low enough by Bipolar Method that Cringe Crew could try and force a fire giant here to give themselves an opportunity back in. There's so many members still on full health after the last engagement.
12,000 gold lead for Bipolar at the 17-minute mark. They're just running wild. Level 19 Freya going into 3 people. Just no fear in the world. Right behind him is Lawbster.
I mean, he's a little bit too far forward here, Funballer. He's still got his ultimate, though, and getting aggressed on a stun, forced to purify away and use his ultimate, too. However, around the back, there's here a teleport coming over as well here by the looks of Zyrhoes, and Funballer should pay the price, gets away with the Sanctuary again, turns more damage on. His boys have now grouped up, and the fight is going to escalate.
A nice job by Lawbster. EmilZy being able to take it out by Xaliea in the backline, though. Repikas, he's going to be jet streaming again, Funballer's in a lot of trouble, but now finally finding it is Kero.
I'm glad he died. I'm not joking. I'm glad he died. That was just too much for me. Seeing Freya do all that. Zyrhoes forced a Lawbringer away there and gets cleaned up by a very nice illusion by QvoFred as well. Only Repikas stands and he's on his way back to base. The left-hand tier 1 tower, however, that won't.
Just extending their lead now, going for the tier 1 tower. Look at Xaliea just taunting, just no fear in the world. Look at Repikas.
Repikas going to come in and sacrifice
I was like, what? You want, mate?
Yeah, surrender vote. Not really a shock after how the game started and then
yeah, they were not coming back from that one. There was no way for Cringe Crew to come back.
Crazy.
12,000 at 17-minute mark.
I mean, invade, fine, you know? We got a Sobek, you should invade. I think that was a wise call to do. They didn't go well for themselves. However, the second invade didn't work out so well. Look at the standings, though. These are your official standings for Europe now. Bipolar Method will be your #1. Energy at #2. Cringe Crew, because they only found that one win, they can't beat Fantastic for that 5th position. They will be sat in 6th going into the group stages.
Fantastic does have the head-to-head 2-0, so that's why they will be secured at that 5th spot right now. And then you have 7th and 8th right now, Cyclone GG and Sanguine.
Now, if you're interested in the groups as well, boys and girls, for you all at home as well, patch notes will be when we announce the group stages to you also. Tune in for that. You'll see me there as per usual, and we'll explain the groups for you and the format of that, and just make sure you're all updated on where these teams are going to fall. It's going to be very interesting.
Heading into the LAN stage right now, both of these teams looked really strong in their games. We saw Bipolar Method. They surrendered the first game due to some great play from Repikas specifically. And then the second game, it was the complete opposite. It was Cringe Crew on the poor results.
Got to agree, and you can see in the mid lane here. This is Repikas, but I believe he gets a quadra kill. Scumbag Shaggyshenk taking that first kill, denied him this quadra overall here. And you'll see how he gets this big 3-man taunt. The burst comes through from the root from Kero, which just sets him up for a free easy triple.
So much CC, a triple taunt, triple root, triple stun from Terra, just nowhere to go. Even diving for the deicide onto Funballer with the World Weaver. Great play from Repikas. Protecting Shaggyshenk in the early game is what led them to victory, I would say, game 1.
Well then, game 2 is a different story, right? We saw the invade, and this is where they got punished for the invade quite heavily because Bipolar Method were all the same side.
Great body blocking.
And then this was the suspect thing that I saw coming out when we saw Repikas going in with the jet stream to close the gap.
Wrath? He used his Wrath in lane to stun to try to survive, so he didn't even use Wrath on the blue. So they couldn't get in time either.
So what he was trying to do is use jet stream, close the gap in Wrath. Makes a bit more sense now. Makes it a little bit more sense. Still not great though.
So if he did find the Wrath, he would have hit level 2 off of the Ogre, and that would have maybe allowed a turnaround play, but the timing window just didn't allow it at all.
Unfortunate for Cringe Crew there, but it was a very interesting set for you guys at home. And we actually do have the #1 team in Europe's mid laner and captain Lawbster on the line. Lawbster, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's been a while, Lawbster, since we've been able to call you guys #1. How's it feel?
Yeah, I guess it's been a while. I mean, we're seed #1. I wouldn't say we're #1 Europe by far, you know, like
no,
energy is really close, and yeah.
Completely agree with that.
Big game up there.
I do agree with that, but it's nice to see you guys back at the top. And obviously, you know, with everything's gone on with the season for you guys, it's been a fantastic performance. That first set against Cringe Crew, though, kind of threw you guys for a loop there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the patch we had effectively 1 day to practice, and I think that the reinforced meta kind of bit us in the ass a little bit. Like paired with the Terra healing and Athena CC, it was so hard to deal with. We had no damage. Like,
yeah, it seemed that you guys went so tanky that you on the Isis the first game specifically just didn't have the damage really needed to synergize with QvoFred at all.
Yeah, exactly. The only magical damage was me and whatever Trix was playing Fafnir, I think. Yeah. So me building reinforced there was like, I don't know. We didn't have anything to answer.
Well, game 2 as well. I mean, obviously that Cringe Crew invade, that didn't seem to work out for them. I mean, that's a nice little feeling, I guess, overall. How did that play out in the game with you guys? Because you all seem to be having a lot of fun towards the end of that game.
Yeah, the second game was the invade obviously gave us a lot of confidence just going into the rest of the game, because I think once we give us a little bit of a lead, we can just take the game. But after that, I think we were just having fun for the most part, and yeah, relaxing a little bit.
So speaking of relaxing, you're going into the LAN at #1 seed. How confident are you guys going into LAN? Are you worried about any team specifically outside of Energy?
Well, going into LAN, I feel really confident. I think we're in the best shape of our team life, I would say, right now. Like if you look away from the first game. But then again, I blame reinforcement issues. So.
You're gonna have something to blame, Lawbster.
confident.
You know that's just normal
Yeah,
European.
exactly.
We're gonna have something to blame.
Exactly.
I agree.
Blame Adonis here in North America.
I mean, that's for the most part, yeah. Congratulations, though, Lawbster, and congratulations on being #1 as well. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Thank you. I like to shout out the community, to be honest, because we've had a lot, like a long and stressful journey with all the paradigm happenings and whatnot. And the community actually was like super supportive. I didn't really. It was kind of surprising, but also really nice to see that people can see like both sides, even though they can only see one side. But then they ask questions like, "What happened? Players though, why aren't they saying anything?" They side with us later, which is really nice to see.
Well, I mean, the community rally behind very good people in the community, and to be fair to you guys, you really have been around a very long time, and you're a very fun team to watch, because I completely understand that from their point of view as well. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure from the community side of things, don't worry about it. I can say that on their behalf. I'm pretty sure they'll be okay with that. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Not really. Just shout out to everyone who feels they deserve a shout out. There you go.
There you go. Good job. Congratulations, Lawbster. See you in a couple of weeks. And for you guys at home, we'll see you guys, well, in a couple of weeks too. In terms of the SPL, those group stages will be announced on the patch notes following on this Wednesday as well, with some nice new balance changes. However, we also have some console action on Monday and Tuesday still.
It's going to be North America on Monday, Europe on Tuesday, so make sure you guys check that out as well.
Fantastic. Anything to add today, Soli? Been a good day.
Daddy Lawbster and the boys closing it out very convincingly in the second game. I'm sure that with a little bit of practice between now and when the group stages happen for them, they should be prepared.
They'll find something else to complain about. That's what they do. It won't be reinforced studios, it'll be something else. Anyway, have a wonderful evening, boys and girls, from everyone at hi-rez Studios. That's it for this week. We'll see you all on Monday for some more Smite action. Enjoy Paladins. Don't forget, it's on Steam.
Is a healer. I don't wanna give it time. I want everything the way it was before you walked in my life.